What would you do to get me to stop singing? Really, all you have to do is just keep watching and see I'm already done. No problem. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails, where the plan, which is my weekly show, talking about all the various things that are happening on the holotables, and maybe some of them off of the holotables. Probably not. Probably all of them are on the holotables, and it's been a weird kind of week. Nothing too crazy, but maybe some crazy things for this channel. I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. Let's go to a view where you don't have to stare at my face as much. Whoa. That was the wrong view as well. Here we go. So, let's just jump right in and say thank you to my patrons. You guys are amazing, and I truly appreciate everything you do for me. I couldn't do it without you. You are amazing, and thank you so much, guys. Yeah, hopefully soon, very, very soon, I think we'll be getting a new computer and start working on some lighting here. Exciting times, guys. Lots of fun stuff. And if you want to support the channel for free, guys, just a reminder that all you have to do is mount the frickin' algorithm, guys. It's just like, subscribe, comment, all of those things help this channel substantially. You really don't know what a big impact you make by just a quick click, guys. It really does help. It really, really does. This isn't what I wanted yet. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but let's move right on. So, CG released their patch. I guess it was it last week? Maybe I could have talked about it last week, actually. I don't know. But one way or another, we have the new Datacron set out, and they didn't add it to the Datacron weekly store. And that like the new set, so we couldn't buy new Datacrons, we couldn't do anything in the store, and so their hotfix was to just add this to, I think, to the Conquest store. And so we had people who were refreshing this so much, they were spending crystals on the various materials and stuff, and they refreshed it so many times that over the course of, I don't know, like over the course of a few days, people already had a bunch of level 9s, but, I mean, they're spending crystals, and, I don't know, people have been angry about this store thing. They're like, oh my gosh, the whales and the krakens are spending so much, how can we ever keep up? And the answer, to me, I'm like a little bit baffled by the people who are angry about this, because the people who are spending a ton on this store, like, it's not like they're getting any kind of competitive advantage over anyone. They're not getting it in Territory Wars or GAC. They like, it's a break on both sides. Like, they can't get an advantage in those. And so the only time that you'll even see these Datacrons being used for set 8 is in your in your arena, which, who cares about arena, honestly? Like, and not to mention, this set isn't like that crazy anyways, to be honest. So I don't understand the angst. I think, I mean, that only represents some people. I think some people just want to be angry. But I do also just want to say, I think this is actually pretty fantastic. Like, one way or another, people who want to spend money on Datacrons and want to advance their account that way, they're going to do that. They're going to get ahead of you regardless. Like, like I said, there's no competitive advantage here that they're getting. Like, they're just getting ahead of each other. But once we get to GAC, once we get to territory battles or territory wars, there would already be, like, they're going to be at the same stage anyways. This just gives them a little less work. And I think that this, I don't know if CG is going to keep this fix, like keeping a refreshable supply of Datacron materials, but I think they should. I think this is great, fantastic. I don't know how the money works and how, I mean, it's going to create less engagement, right? Like, people are going to play the game a little bit less in order to like, keep these, if they can spend crystals on this, then they don't engage in the game as much, which Yeah, because they're not like constantly resetting the replaying. I'm just something here and trying to remember things, but people are consistently running the nodes, and like that's what I'm doing, refreshing the node, just consistently doing that. And instead they're spending crystals just directly in a store. I don't know how the economy of it shakes out. I hope that it sticks around in some form though, folks, because in a way this is a little bit of a sim button, just a tiny bit of a sim button, like that's what we've been asking for. So one way or another, I hope that this store continues the way it is. I don't know if they will. I bet they won't, but I think it's a very positive thing. So speaking of Datacrons and Set 8, I do have my video out for that and my infographic. You guys can go find the infographic on my channel, my Discord server. It's in the channel called Infographics, toward the bottom of the Discord server, so you guys can get that for free. You can see I've even added asterisks, man, I cannot say that. That's like my kryptonite. I just can't say it. There's, I used to be able to say it flawlessly before I learned how to spell it, and then it caused all kind of issues. I don't really know what my issue is, but the asterisk things here, guys, are there just to denote the various galactic legends, so that you can find them pretty easily. And yeah, Set 8 is very interesting. I will say that. I will also say that Set 6 and the death of Set 6 is very sad to me. Set 6 was, in my opinion, substantially stronger than Set 8 is going to be. So we have two kind of weak sets in a row, though I guess we'll see how Set 8 shakes out. Maybe there'll be unseen synergy. I don't really see it, but you guys can go find it. Okay, so there was a patch today, or an update. It wasn't today, it was this week though. And so yeah, they fixed a few different things. They added Tuscan Warrior to the Cantina, which is a low Cantina node as well. It's only 8 Cantina energy, which is pretty fantastic. You can farm her pretty dang quick. The thing that I thought was interesting though was they changed, so they have that Fury Interceptor or whatever it's called, the new Malgus ship that he's piloting. And the thing that's interesting about it to me is that they actually went in and updated its language use to reflect what its abilities do, which CG has never really been that concerned about that sort of thing. There's all kinds of things that have they're like, oh yeah, well this is the reality, but the description doesn't even meet it. There's been a ton of them. There are a ton. Like Canderous is one of them. That it's been broken from day one for if you take just the description. So you can kind of like technically call whatever Canderous does as a bug, but he's been around, like his kid has been around for a long time at this point. It's like, well, if they went in and fixed that bug, like if they changed it to meet the description, it would be player unfriendly, but it would also be very surprising that they did it in the first place. And so it's a very interesting thing that they even cared enough to go in and change the verbiage on these abilities. I doubt that it's going to be a consistent thing, frankly. I don't want to be like a negative Nancy or whatever. This seems like something they won't change permanently, right? Like they're not going to suddenly care about their language use. Some of it's fairly good. So certain kits are pretty well described, but for the most part, I guess we'll see. Like, I haven't looked too closely. I wouldn't be that surprised if these weren't in fact that accurate to the kit anyways. And it's kind of a sad state to be in, to have that little faith in CG. But I will applaud their desire to be more precise. Someone cares about it, about precision, and I have to say that that's a positive thing. Now, one other positive thing that I will point out is, CG has never never really been accused of excellent communication. There have been times that it's like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's been decent lately. I hope that this continues, and it traditionally just doesn't. And we've just continued along because they have made a decent game. It's been a good game. It's had a good run. I mean, it's been around for a long time. It's undeniably successful. However, their communication has always been like, well, that could have been better. All the way to like, oh, that was pretty cringy, in fact. But one thing that I do appreciate is that they're giving us a long warning about this raid blackout. They warned us about it in the initial, like back in February, they told us when they first announced the raid. They said there were going to be a raid blackout. Now that we're closer, they decided to tell us again, which is good, instead of just saying like, oh, we told you in February, like you didn't remember it. But they're telling us here, like, I don't know, like, will they give us, I feel like they said something about it in February, but I could be mistaken, that are they going to give us rewards for that week, or are we just going to be pretty currency poor for a week? I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see, guys. The new raid coming out has a lot of questions. I mean, like, what kind of rewards are they giving us? Is it going to be Relic 10? Is it going to be just a bunch of, like, Relic 9 stuff? Because right now, I mean, we've said it on a few different mediums before but, like, on my podcast, on the Crate Expectations, we were talking on both of those about the inaccessibility of Relic 9 to the majority of people. Like, my main account, I spend a decent amount on this game. My main account only has 16 Relic 9s. And I'm facing people who have in the 40s of Relic 9s. So there's some people who are getting a lot of it. But, at some point we're going to get Relic 10 just for the people who spend a lot of money. Even though, for the most part, people don't use, like, my alternate account pretends that Relic 8 doesn't exist, for that matter. So, like, Relic 8 needs to be more accessible. Though, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit later in this thing. They've made it more accessible, and it looks like they're going to continually, just push toward that, which is nice. It's a good change. I will say, though, the raid blackout, I don't know. Well, what to expect from it. Maybe we'll get some gear, maybe we won't. But I do appreciate that they're telling us pretty far in advance. And I guess, guys, go and do. I mean, if you have a little bit of guild currency, you may as well just run a Rancor level 3 or whatever if you want. Seems kind of fun. See who can do a speed run on it or something. Alright, so one question I keep getting, folks, is how important are the Tuscans? Because they're expensive, right? Like, they're an expensive squad. It's a tough squad to know exactly how we should deal with them. Because right now they seem pretty important for the raid and everything, but in a little bit, like in a year or two, are they going to even be, like, once we get a new raid, how important are Tuscans going to be? Like, so the crate raid is obviously very important, and though I will say that if you're trying to prep for the crate raid, get your Jabba team up and running first, and honestly, like, get them. I think that Relic 8 is not totally unreasonable for a lot of people, though I will also say that we don't know what the good raid composition is going to be, so maybe don't spend those materials, but wait to see what the best comp is going to be. Like Boosh, you can't really go wrong. Jabba, you can't go wrong. Everyone else, probably Chrysanthemum's going to be fine, and everyone else, maybe pump the brakes, I don't know. But as far as Tuscans go, obviously they're going to be very good in the crate raid. They're going to help us get our individual track damage in, I hope. I'm probably not going to go Relic 8 on them, and but okay, so other things that are good about Tuscans, though. So crate raid, undeniably valuable there. That's where they're going to shine, at least in theory. They have their own Datacron set. For 4 months, they're going to be pretty dang important and strong in GAC and Territory Wars. I just think that that's going to be the case. They're going to be very strong for that long. For long-term PvP, I'm not sure. That like they have some pretty strong characteristics of forcing turn meter team squads into uncomfortable situations, so I think that they're always going to have at least a little bit of value. Though, I don't know, in my opinion, they're going to be right around the usefulness level of like a Hux team that's separated from Supreme Leader Kylo. I don't know exactly what, like, that. It's okay, at least. It's nice to be able to negate turn meter gains and stuff, but long term, I don't think they're going to be a must-have team, honestly, especially once we get a new raid, which, I mean, that'll be in a year or two or whatever, but right now, I don't think long-term PvP, that doesn't seem like they're going to be crazy important. Though, of course, 3v3, well, here's the thing, guys. If CG doesn't fix the Tuscan Omicron, which has been broken forever, like this is just the Tuscan Raider Omicron for 3v3 only, like that kind of shows just how valuable CG thinks Tuscans are, which is not very. They need to fix that. It's actually fairly ludicrous that it's not fixed yet, especially for what's now become kind of a premier squad. Now, for long-term PvE, what else so they have the raid, but that raid is going to stop being the main raid after a year or two. You just know that's how it's going to be. Like, they've already talked about how they're going to be working on other raids. So, my guess is that Tuscans aren't going to be relevant for the next raid. And so where are they in terms of other PvE? Like, Conquest, I've been trying to get wins with them, and they're all Relic 5 or higher. They don't have the best mods, but they just get destroyed in Conquest. It's been kind of tricky to find, like, now that I have all the data discs, I can get some kills with them, but Tuscans have been a little bit of a challenge to use in Conquest, and so they're just like the second team on the Inquisition assault battle, and what value would you say that holds? Honestly, like, everyone should be getting Inquisition because they're undeniably strong. I don't know. I don't think Tuscans are that important, frankly, guys. If you can find a way to skip them, if you don't need them for the raid, and you have a ton of other things to work on, I would say don't prioritize them. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys can let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Now, we do have a viewer question. Gosh, and I can barely see it here. But he says, I would love a video about how... So this was asked on my Discord server, by the way, guys, on the Plan channel. I would love a video about how to optimize Datacron farming so less materials are wasted when sets dust. I understand very little of what you and Sarah were talking about in Create Expectations today. Similarly, it would be helpful to know your opinion on which teams are the most useful at low stamina for Conquest bonus nodes. Yeah, I should probably talk to Sarah about this. So, yeah, I don't even know how she typically just doesn't even go super low stamina, I don't think. But, I mean, I think that would be a helpful thing for some people. Yeah, I've been thinking about a video like this, guys. I don't really know how to respond other than, sure, I'll make a video about it one day. Thank you for asking a question on that channel, though. Alright, so here's the thing I was going to talk about, guys. So I recently put out a video about my old account called Prevail Man. Back in the day, we had an account called Prevail Man. It was a great new player account. Oh, great! It was fun, and you know, it was a lot of fun. You know, I had lots of people helping me and stuff, trying to figure it out, and then at some point, the person who had been helping me long term quit the game, and I was in a stressful place in my life anyways with no time, and I decided to just drop it. Just stop playing it. That was about 300 days ago, give or take. And so my video was about, hey, what's even on this account? Let's go look at it. So, you know, we kind of explored it. And this is kind of what the thumbnail implies, guys. What I was talking about earlier about, or what it said, like, I can't believe I'm considering it, because once I played it, once I got onto that account, it turned, how could I even say this? it poses a really interesting challenge to me, folks. That account has Razor Crest at like what, 5 stars, and that's the only conquest character that it has. Nothing else does. Cat is about halfway to unlocked, and my guess is that Maul has 0 shards on him, maybe a few. I don't know, but otherwise nothing. And so no conquest, no galactic legend. I think my best team is like a CLS team with like a Gear 12 C3PO. And like, it's not a great account. It's not, it's a 4.2 million account, but I still like, if you know how to game the system, if you know how to play, get the most out of your squads, like you can still beat pretty big rosters. You can beat really strong players. And so my account right now is in Erodium 4. Like, it was up to Erodium 2, in fact, for a little bit. And it was like 1 win away from getting into Kyber, which was just crazy. But someone actually even in the comments were like, I don't see how this account could be in Kyber or in Erodium 4 even. And I'm like, yeah, probably just a little bit ridiculous these days. But the thing is, guys, what if I did start playing this account again? I'm not sure if I will or not. I'm contemplating it, though. I'm actually thinking about it. And the question that I keep wondering and keep asking myself is my perspective on the early-ish game even helpful to new players or to the community at large? Like, there's a lot of people in that range creating content, and it's like, is it needed? Would people seek out this kind of content? I mean, I'm sure people would watch some of it. That's, I really appreciate that people are watching my videos, but is this something that people would actually tune in for? I'm not sure. That's the biggest question, because if it's not helpful, then it's just noise, and then it's just for my own, if I'm making content for it, then it's just for my own, I don't know, weird ambition, and I don't necessarily need more of that in my life. So it would be a really big challenge. No galactic legends, and I'm not really even like I'm a little bit close to unlocking General Skywalker, which is not a galactic legend level team. We'd probably be able to find some good off-meta counters and stuff, but like, I don't know what guild would want me in their guild, to be honest. I don't know how we could make everything work, frankly. Prevail Man is a fun account, but there's a lot of hurdles to go. Like, without galactic challenges, or without, I mean, I probably wouldn't be able to get many galactic challenges either, but without conquest characters, it's just it's an uphill battle, folks. I would be able to do the conquest on hard node, so we might be able to find ways to get new conquest characters. But for instance, I couldn't get the Malgus ship. I could maybe get the shards for it, but I wouldn't be able to fully unlock it because I wouldn't be able to get Malgus for a long time. So I don't know. It would be a big challenge. I would probably need someone to help me. I'm a busy enough guy. I probably would need someone to do my dailies, which includes all the hard node farming and stuff, which, wouldn't be that tough. I probably need some help on Conquest as well. So I don't even know if I can find someone who would be willing to help me with that, but it's something I've been thinking of at least. I'd probably need help. I'd probably need a guild who would let me hang out there, even if I couldn't contribute a crazy amount, but I'd need a guild that would let me at least accumulate some raid rewards if we were trying to do the crate raid, or even less than that. This account can help a little bit, probably not much. So there's a lot going on. The other thing about it, guys, is my approach to this game has never been that comfortable. People get mad about things like me saying you should farm every character whenever you can and prioritize farming shards over gear. People get real bent out of shape about that. People get frustrated when I say, well, you don't really need galactic legends for a lot of different things. Like, they're kind of just a crutch. I mean, they are strong, and CG has seen fit to kind of force us into playing the game their way, in a way, and that means we do need some Galactic Legends. That's why my Professor X account, my alternate account, has Galactic Legends, and we'll continue to get a few more of them, but my approach is never like, well, let's just get by on roster strength alone. Like, let's make a roster that you actually have to think to be able to use. Let's make a roster that is going to be a little uncomfortable to try to use. I mean, make a roster that is flexible and strong and requires a pretty high degree of skill to be able to use. I don't know if that's something people want. So never comfortable for any of us. I don't really know, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on Prevail Man, though. If you want me to play it, if you think that would be valuable, if you think that it just really doesn't hold much value, I would love to hear it. Stay civil, of course, please, respectful. But otherwise, hold on to your butts. There's just a lot going on right now, guys, that we don't know. A lot of things that are going to change, such as the new emphasis on raids. How is that going to impact how much time we spend in the game? And what kind of squads we're going to be farming and prioritizing. There's still so much we don't know, like the prize levels that they're going to be giving us. We'll maybe be making videos once we have more information, but we don't know anything. We don't even know if Relic 10 is coming. I do know that the Marin node and the Cal and Seer node on phases 2 and 3 are they're giving a lot. They're giving, like, if everyone completes those nodes every time, they're going to be earning their guild something like you get what, 5,000 more GET2, which is pretty nice. That's a pretty substantial amount of reward if your entire guild has them, which, I mean, that's going to be a while till we do, but that's going to make those nodes very, very lucrative once we finally have them. And I mean, that does give us a wider accessibility to a lot of different gear levels, which is very nice. I'm interested to see what the Cal Survivor character, why does he have 3 territory battle Omicrons? Like, what would be compelling about that? It doesn't seem compelling at all until they force us to use those for some other thing. I don't know. Like, how important is that going to be moving forward? It doesn't seem like you were going to apply any of them, but I mean, the fact that there's 3 of them makes me think that they're going to do something that makes us want at least one of them. So stay tuned for that. We're getting a new ship, Galactic Legend, which, are we going to start having 4 fleets in Kyber 1 or something? I hope to God we don't. That will be so miserable. Only 11 fleets and putting 4 on defense seems... I mean, you can barely call the Endurance a fleet at this point. So, I would rather not, but we'll see if that's a thing. Why are they draining Kyber 1, guys? Why do we still have this crazy skill squish that is just destroying us? We're just all circling the drain, folks. I mean, every season they just dump out hundreds of people from Kyber 1 to the point where pretty soon it's going to be less than 1,000 people in Kyber 1. And if CG truly doesn't see that this is happening, then like the level of incompetence is through the roof. And I just don't think that they're that level of incompetent. I think that they either don't care, or which is bad enough, or there's some other reason for it, that maybe there's going to be a big reset soon, or maybe there's going to be a new league like Beskar League or something like that coming out. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of questions on that. But why are they draining Kyber 1? It seems like it has to be intentional, right? Like, just they're like, oh yeah, they will never notice if we just drain a couple hundred every time, but people notice a lot. So let's see, when are we going to start getting more Omicrons? Like, is that going to be the new thing, the new method of progression? I don't know. I hope we get them soon. When is Relic 10 coming? I hope not too soon, but it wouldn't be too surprising. A lot of people have a lot of Relic 9s, a lot of Krakens do, at least. We don't want them to get bored. So I don't know, the Omicron stuff. Maybe that'll be the new. Maybe the raid will give us lots of Omicrons, and we'll just have to spend hours getting the perfect score to get Omicron mats. Who knows? Anyways, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Lots to talk about today. Obviously, a little bit wordy. Would have maybe tried to do another take, but hey, I got to get to work. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xerath prevails. Take care, folks.